All right, markets this morning are higher. Check out futures indicating a triple-digit gain right out of the gate this morning as retail giants take center stage this week. We've got Dow components Walmart and Home Depot reporting quarterly earnings tomorrow. Kohl, Target, Macy's also out this week. Over 90% of the S&P 500 companies have reported third-quarter earnings so far, and they've beaten expectations by wide margins. Don't forget retail sales numbers are out this week as well. Nicholas Wealth Management President David Nicholas is with us this morning. Also joining the conversation all morning long is Fox Business's Dagan McDowell and pollster and the president of Mislansky & Partners, Lee Carter. Great to see everybody this morning. Thank you so much for being here. David, let me kick it off with you. Your expectation for what we're going to hear on retail this week.
Yeah, Maria, a slew of retailers this week. We've got Walmart, Lowe's, we've got Home Depot, Target. And so I think this is really a testament to the U.S. consumer. Walmart has done great with their online subscription. Lowe's and Home Depot have seen an amazing boost to demand just with this do-it-yourself home improvement as well. Target's done great with their online and also their immediate same-day store pickup. So I think it's really a story about the consumer. Even as COVID is spiking, if you look at foot traffic in October, which is what I've been watching, foot traffic has continued to increase even while you see COVID spiking. So I think that tells me that the consumer is still willing to get out and shop, even with what's going on in terms of COVID. So I think it's going to bode well for retailers this week.
Well, that's certainly a positive for the broader economy. All right, we've got a important race coming up in January. Investors eyeing the Peach State, Georgia, set for 2 Senate runoff elections in January. That will dictate the control of the Senate, of course, and all the legislative power that goes along with it. David, you are backing Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. What would Democratic control of the Senate mean?
Yeah, I'll just tell you from a market perspective, I mean, there's always risks to the market, but the one risk that I think the market is not pricing in is if Georgia loses these 2 Senate races, if Democrats win both of these races. That's essentially the blue wave that the market has been fearing. The market is not pricing that in. So I think both of those senators, Loeffler and Perdue, are the only things standing between obviously higher tax burden, a higher regulatory burden, a slew of regulatory issues that would do damage to corporations, to earnings, and to the markets. So I think it's really important to see how those races go. That race will determine, in my opinion, how the markets do early in the spring going into next year.
Yeah, for sure. This weekend on Sunday Morning Futures, I spoke with David Perdue, and he walked through all of the things that the Senate could stop in terms of these progressive policies should the Republicans win. So what are you doing in terms of allocating capital right now? Where are you seeing opportunities to get into this market in 2021?
Yeah, I still think it's prudent. We're holding back some cash. We've got about 10% of the portfolio in cash, just looking for opportunities for buyback. But look, I think for going into next year, I think the story is going to be on some of the names that have been beaten up the most. So I think you got to look at some of the travel names. I like a company like Expedia. As bookings and travel start to increase, I think they will do well. I like the best in breed in airlines, a company like Southwest. Balance sheet from an airline perspective, relatively speaking, is in great shape. I think you got to look at financials. I think financials are one of the safest recovery plays that you can do. We own Citi. I like Citi. I like JP Morgan. You also got to look at energy. Obviously, the energy sector, there's a little bit more risk involved. I like using an ETF to get exposure to the energy sector. You could look at an ETF like XLE, will give you broad exposure. So between financials, travel, and energy, that's where I think the biggest opportunity is going to be going into 2021.
Well, I mean, look, if you like travel, then you must think business is coming back, even despite COVID. And if you like banks, you must not think that there's a threat from a potential Biden administration of a breakup. Elizabeth Warren wants to be Treasury Secretary, and she said she wants those banks smaller.
That is the risk, right? But I have to believe that the environment for banks is going to get better as we get a vaccine, as we get a treatment. Look, I mean, we have to realize that COVID may not be going away for a while. I think Americans are getting used to living in an environment where they're having to deal with this virus, with this disease. But I think as travel picks up, I think as the interest rate environment improves, that'll bode well for travel. That will bode well for energy as well. So despite of what may come out of this potential new administration, I still think the consumer will be strong in 2021.
All right, David. Great to see you this morning. Thanks very much. David Nicholas joining us there. Here's your